Hello and welcome back, everyone. This is Scootsy16 with the Windy City Thunderbolts in the Super Mega Legend League. Welcome back to another video. Last we left off, we played opening day against the Buffalo Blowfish, and we ended up beating them in a score of 6-1. Really great showing in our first game of the season. And I saw some requests for some teams to play against, one being the Herbisaurs, another being the Platypi. I actually thought that it would make sense for us. Um, I'm not going to play our opening day home game only because I want to kind of see what this team's made of. So I figured the Milwaukee Tanks were the team that won the division last year for in our division. And if we sim all the way to game 35, then we will be playing them in their stadium, which I believe we were at home the last time we played them. So I want to kind of get a taste of what the Thunderbolts are all about in season two. And I figured this would be a great way to do that. And then we can go ahead and play or watch, excuse me, the game against the Milwaukee Tanks. So let's go ahead and start by just simming through these first 35 games or 34 games to get to that game against the Tanks, and let's see what this team's got in store for us this season. So we're going to start by just simming up till game 10. And as we do that, I'm just going to skip ahead like I normally do. And we went 6-3 in those 9 games. So pretty good start to the season. You could see the Green Bay Grapplers are leading our division right now, but we have a plus 29 run differential right now. So the team is starting off pretty solid. And if we take a look at the beginning of this, we ended up sweeping the Blowfish. They scored 3 runs over those 3 games. We also won 2 out of 3 against the Edmonton Empire, and we won our opening day home game start. We won we went 1-1 against the Herbisaurs. We will be playing them, but it's towards the end of the season, and I will go ahead and watch that game. Well, I guess I plan to watch that game, but will depend on how the team performs by then. And then we have split the series against the Wide Loads as well. So pretty good start to the season, as we normally do. Sim 10 games and then see where development has taken us. So peeking here, we have an opportunity to develop Queen Jimenez, which is something we always want to do. Hera Owaglium's already doing really well in her season debut. If you watched last game, she just developed her arm +7. Awesome to see that. Jensen Deputy, also an accuracy boost. Same personal trainer they're going to, it looks like. Maybe we'll get good results for both of them, too. Willie Randolph with some speed and arm, but the big thing here is that he can get that improvement on his secondary position to add shortstop, which he doesn't have anything right now. Be interested in that. We also have Cecil Sawyer, who's looking to get stimulated as a trait. I don't think that that's as great on starting pitchers unless they have the workhorse trait, in my opinion. So I don't know if we'll go that route. We'll look at it in just a second. And then Prince Chavez loses 2 power and it drops him from a B plus down to a B. So that's sad to see. Although it was just a slight change, we still know he's capable of doing great things. So we have this one for Willie Randolph. I'm interested in that. Speed, arm, and then a chance for more speed and that secondary position. I know that we would get +3 or the 3 boost to stimulated, which would be times 20 or a 20% chance, excuse me, of going juiced in the final 2.5 innings of the game. But I don't see him going that deep into many games, unfortunately. So, and he's 28. I don't know if this is where I want to invest my money. Next, we have this one for mashed taters, which I was definitely interested in getting because even though Big Hack would be at its lowest buff, maybe I didn't want to get that one. I'm not sure. We definitely don't want this one for Juice Jackson. While he's boosting everything, I don't want him to lose that off-speed hitter trait. That's a good one. This one for Queen Jimenez, and this one for Jensen Deputy. I'm definitely interested in both of those. Both young pitchers, both in the bullpen, which we want to see them develop really well. So let's start here. Queen gets that +2. We're not expecting anything else to hit, but we'll be happy if it does. And neither of those hit. So Queen gets a loyalty boost, which she needs, and she got +2 to her accuracy. Next, we go Jensen Deputy. Same thing as Queen, but let's see if we get different results. And here comes that chance for Screwball. He does not get it. So also +8 loyalty and +2 accuracy. So we'll take that. Next, I am definitely going to do this one for Willie Randolph, and then I think I'm going to pass on the other ones. +1 speed, +1 arm, get more speed. Nope. Can we get that secondary position? We do not. So no luck so far in the development department, but we will see that speed go up, and we like to see that arm going up as well. So let's go ahead and sim some more. Let's see if we can keep this success going for the next 20 games. We're currently at 7-3, so we'll see what happens as we sim 10 more games. And we went 5-5 in that series. We still have a +24 run differential, but the Rockford Rivets and the Green Bay Grapplers are tied with us in record, but leading us in run differential. So that's the tiebreaker, and that's what splits the order there. So now, honestly, I was planning to host the Mammo Tanks. Now I'm thinking we watch this one against the Rockford Rivets, just to see what we're doing there. So we split a series against the Shanghai Sandcats. We won all 3 games against the Platypi, so we swept them. We split the series with the Tokyo Thrillers. And while last year we got blown out by the Bombers, they did sweep us, but this time it looks like it was much more competitive outside of this last game where Ken Owens seemed to have gotten the best of him. So we are now facing off in a 3-game series against the Rivets, who are one of the team league leaders, or the team lead or season standing division leaders right now, excuse me, tied with us along with the Grapplers. I'm going to make a gut decision and pivot here. I was going to have us face off against the Mammo Tanks since they won the division last year, but let's watch some competitive baseball against 2 teams that are vying for the division lead right now. And let's watch the Rivets and the Windy City Thunderbolts. These are 2 local teams in my area, so it'll be fun to see that play out as well. We do have some development and some random outcomes here. So Kendra Kerr lost 4 junk, which is unfortunate to see any regression there from a 22-year-old. Withers Hansen gets a chance for more development here across all of that, except for losing a little bit of accuracy. So we'll see where his accuracy is at right now. Cecil loses 2 power. We don't care. We're okay with that. A chance for some development for Prince Chavez, bump him back up to a B+. We see Bill Campbell has an opportunity. He's a little bit older, and I think he's just one of those guys we had on the team for the sake of our chemistry. So I don't know if we'll go that route. Coyle Marshall, I did star him. He was the starting pitcher for us last year, and he did not pitch that well for us, but he gets +8 in junk. Depending on how Ken Owens is doing, this might be something we make an adjustment for, but it'll depend on chemistry as well. Oh, of course, I say that. You know the drill by now. I would be interested in somebody, and then they get signed immediately. So it is what it is. Tish Ballin gets signed as well by the Overdogs. So here we go. Taking a quick look at player development. I'm going to pass on this one for Bill Campbell. Again, I'm passing on this for Cecil, this for Mash. Juice is rattled, so maybe we can get him to snap out of that this game. I wanted to do this one for Withers Hansen, and that -2 accuracy is worth the chance to up his velocity. He's going to be a really good pitcher for us for a long time if we can afford him. So I am going to do this one for Withers Hansen. So we'll take +4 velocity. We'll gain 1 power, which means nothing. We lose 2 accuracy, and at a 25% chance we don't get the +4 velocity. So we're getting there, but not there yet. And then we have this one for Prince Chavez, +1 speed, 1 fielding, 1 arm, and chance for more speed and fielding. I'm going to go ahead and give him this one. I think he's a good player. He's at 28, so he's not too old, and I like what he's been doing for us since the start of this franchise. See if we can get him that +3 fielding. This is where he really needs it. Unfortunately, not. So +1 in those 3 areas, get that loyalty up a little bit more, and it bumps him back up to a B+ as we were talking about. But let's go ahead and watch Lockton Lachlan against Selma Mueller, and we'll see what we can do. It looks like since we watched that opening day game, Lachlan McMackey hasn't been doing incredibly successful, but he's not doing bad either. So let's go see what the recommended lineup looks like. And I'm going to do some adjusting from here. So I actually want Prince Chavez to lead off here. That get on base, then steal to move over with maxed out stealer trait looks good to me. Juice Jackson, I think we're going to keep him in for this game still, just because even though he's struggling, I think that he can still be successful. Oh, I also want to introduce what was a fun. Okay, we have a righty that we're going up against. So, do we consider? I think I'm gonna give Marlon Bird the start today over Cash Basket. We'll see how this goes. They're almost identical in their stats, even after Marlon gets that decrease in his fielding. So let's put Marlon in left. Actually, never mind. Here I am looking at them putting George Bell in right for some reason. I just don't get it. So let's swap those two. And I'm going to put Willie in the 2 spot. We'll follow that with go put David Ortiz in the 3 spot. We'll put Mashed Taters in 4, Ham Slamus in 5, Juice Jackson in 6 spot, Hera O'Wugliams catching at 7, George Bell in 8, and Marlon Bird in 9. Had a comment from the Nasty One. I asked all of you to give us some ideas for some nicknames for the Mashed Taters and Ham Slamus combo. How about Bangers and Mash? Just a really, really brilliant name. So I love that. You're going to see Bangers and Mash in the opposite order here today. Mash and Bangers today, but I think it'll work. And let's go ahead and go with our alternate away today. And let's go ahead and play ball. Let's see what we're facing. We are going up against the Rivets, another kind of local team for me. It's like a college wooden bat league, I think, are the Rockford Rivets. And the Windy City Thunderbolts are a semi-professional baseball team, not affiliated with any major league team, but they're in the area that I live in as well. So curious to see how the team does. It does not look like Prince Chavez has been performing too well with his 211 average, 2 home runs, and 9 RBIs, but we'll see what he can do today. And he's going to get that one. Oh, Hieronymus Jackson makes the shoestring catch for out number 1. Ball just about got down, but hung up long enough for him to get to it. And Willie Randolph quietly having a pretty solid start to the year. 329 average and 11 RBIs. No home runs yet. We're facing off against Selma Mueller. Selma has very high accuracy as she shows it off there, hitting a corner for Willie Randolph to strike out. Selma has 2 traits, the elite 4-seam that's at tier 2, and then has surrounded at tier 1. So even when there's multiple runners on base, it shouldn't negatively affect her too much. Now David Ortiz gets that ball, low pitch, and sends it right back up the middle. He gets on base. And that brings up Mash Taters, who has been mashing the ball like crazy this year so far. 464 average, 4 home runs, and 26 RBIs. What a showing for him to start the year. And he dribbles that one to Plover Russell at second base, and they get the third out. You get one hit, but with 2 outs, it wasn't doing much. So time for us to kick things off against the Rivets with locked in Lachlan, and we'll be starting with Spots Spencer. He has maxed out Rally Starter. We don't see that activated until we score a run and nobody's on base. He lines that one right to Mash Taters at first base. Dub McCann, guy that we're going to have to watch out for. He's already locked in himself, and his stats are pretty solid. And he shatters his bat. He gets it over to Juice Jackson, who scoops it up, tosses it over to first for the out. Hieronymus Jackson is also locked in. Tier 2 outside pitch. And he uses it there, but it's just too late, and it goes foul. He had the power on that one, but just bad timing. So we're going to have to be careful there. Gets him to swing through strike 2. Fights off an outside pitch for a foul. Another foul off here. Ooh, that ball just went underneath the zone. And he gets him to swing through that one, and Hieronymus Jackson's going to get back down to neutral mojo, and locked in Lachlan gets through the first inning without allowing a base runner. So here comes the second of our bangers and mash combo, Ham Slamus. The caveat of that bangers is that it's usually sausage, but in this case, we're going with ham. It's in the same family, so I'll allow it. And she gets that one right on the inside part of the plate, and it's called the strike 3. And Ham Slamus gets caught looking. Juice Jackson, he's got 337 average, 2 home runs, and 11 RBIs, so he hasn't been doing amazing. And it's going to be hard to watch him struggle, knowing that we could have stayed with Beefcake McStevens, but I think we should be all right. I think that over time, Juice, if he struggles for a little bit, I think he'll equal it out, as he does swing through strike 3 for out number 2. And Hera hasn't been doing much with the bat. 208 so far this season. No home runs, 3 RBIs. She does have tier 2 off-speed hitter. Same thing that Juice Jackson has. And Salma Mueller has been doing pretty well, but Hera Wugliams puts a charge into that one, doesn't get all the way to the warning track, flies out to center for out number 3. So things are moving pretty well for these pitchers so far. And we're looking to face off against their catcher, Theo Hughes. Lots of power, has low pitch, tier 2, below average contact, and very slow, which is natural for a catcher. We'll see if we can keep him at bay, as he does ground that one straight to Mash Taters, and that does put his mojo down. It's good when we see the catcher's mojo drop, because that means their arm decreases as well, and that's something we could potentially take advantage of. By the way, we do see that Lachlan McMackey is now locked in himself, as he gets another ground ball, this one from Juice over to Mash Taters for out number 2. And here comes second baseman Plover Russell, who has not done anything of note offensively. He does have maxed out Rally Starter. Again, we don't see that kick in unless they are losing. Oh, that ball gets down. Marlon Bird is there for it, but that's the first base hit for the Rivets in this one. He also has completely maxed debuff bad jumps over there at first base, so he is not going to be running here. And it doesn't matter, because on the first pitch, Juan Rojas grounds out to Ham Slamus for out number 3, and his mojo goes from locked in, back to neutral. So here comes George. We got to see him hit a home run on opening day, but he hasn't done much since then. So he's batting 286, 1 home run, and 5 RBIs. We're hoping he's going to be one of those pieces that we can see get better as he develops. And with a ground out to first, he loses his mojo, and he's going to be tense from this point going forward, which is not good for a guy that has such bad fielding ratings already. So this is our first time getting a chance to see Marlon Byrd play, but he's been doing really well with 370 average, 4 home runs, and 12 RBIs. But he swings through that one for out number 2. As a Cubs fan, I loved seeing Marlon Byrd on the team for a little while there. So we're back to the top of the order with 2 outs. Prince Chavez lined out to left in his last at-bat, but he puts that one right up the middle for a base hit. And with a tense catcher behind the plate in Hughes, this is a good opportunity with a maxed-out stealer for us to move. Let's just make sure we don't get picked off. All right, so he's not going yet, which is smart. And there he goes, takes off, and easy. That was actually closer than I thought, but great steal for him to get into scoring position. But this is a... there we go, trying to steal again. I think part of what made that play so close is she threw her elite four seam, but she drops that ball right in the strike zone. I disagree. That looked inside and low, but it froze Willie Randolph for out number 3 on a caught looking. And Mueller's having a hell of a day so far. And luckily, McMackey is doing the same so far as well. Oh, and as I say that, locked in Lachlan. Oh, but Hera comes in clutch, getting over there, and oh no, locked in Lachlan was locked in, and now he's tense, and he can recover, but boy, that did not look good whatsoever. He got hit right in the McMackies, and he gets a ground ball that he's able to get over to and toss to first for out number 2. So let's see if he can get himself out of this tense mojo that he's in right now. Very thankful that it wasn't worse. It could have been a fitness decrease. That luckily it was just a mojo drop, and I'm still reeling over that one. He got hit right there. Oh man. Okay, so there's ball. Get it over to Willie Randolph, and we get through that 3 ground balls for the inning to be over. Wow, I'm so glad it was just a mojo drop for him. Okay, back on offense, we see our 3-4-5 hitters coming up, so we get to see David Ortiz and then Mashin Bangers. Hopefully they can do a little bit of that. He got a base hit up the middle in his last at-bat, and he drives that one right past the second baseman, so he's on base in 2 at-bats both times so far, so that's good to see. All right, here comes Mashed Taters. He grounded out to second in his last at-bat, if I remember correctly. And he gets a hold of that one. The Gibbs Frazzler cannot get to that ball in time, and we have 2 on. Setting the table for Ham Slamus. It's time to eat, I think. We got the... Oh, I was about to say we got the juice and we got the taters, but we just need the ham, but juice is on deck. 1-1 count here for Ham Slam. This is a big moment. Take strike 2, inside and low. That ball swings too far outside. Now, Surrounded has kicked in, but because she's locked in, it doesn't make that much of a difference. And he swings through that one for strike 3. So, with 1 out, here comes our rattled Juice Jackson in a pretty high-pressure situation. This would be a great time to see him break out of this little slump he's in. He swings through strike 2 after taking strike 1. And he tips that one, and it pops it up. Can it get out of play? The first baseman dives, but can't get to it in time. And swings through Strike 3. He's pissed. We all are. That's a guy we expect to be successful here. And I'm not sure why Hera O'Wugliams is tense right now. She was prior, or if it was after her last at bat, but she made a really great defensive play in the last inning to recover for McMackey. And we could really use her to show up here. She's fighting off a few pitches, working that pitch count up a bit. Mueller is at 59 pitches now through 4 innings, and she flies out, or she pops out down the third baseline for out number 3. So we got 2 on, but we couldn't do anything with it. Here comes their 2-3-4 hitters, starting with Dub McCann, who is, I think, by far their biggest threat offensively. And he's still locked in, even though he got out in his last at-bat with a ground out to third. And that ball just scoots down the first base line, just fair. Marlon Byrd's able to get to it quickly, so they're able to hold a fast runner to just a single. And now, do they try and run on Hera O'Wugliams' cannon arm? So even though her arm is decreased, you can see in the top right-hand corner, that cannon arm activates, it overrides that decrease in the arm. So I'd love to see that if they try and steal, but right now we're just taking care of business on the mound as Hieronymus Jackson strikes out on 3 pitches. All right, here comes Theo Hughes. Got out in his last at-bat and lost mojo because of it. McMackey somehow still tense. See if maybe a strikeout here can break him out of that. Checking on the runner, just making sure McCann stays over there at first. And that's a ground ball right to Randolph. Real quick, Ham Slamus winds up and puts it back over to Taters for the double play, and we get out of the inning. So McMackey, we saw his mojo go back up. He's neutral now, and that's a really great place for him to be, to keep cruising through this game. George Bell went tense after getting out in his last at-bat, so let's see if we can try and get some of that back. 1-1 count here. We're starting the 5th inning, and Selma Mueller is over 60 pitches already. All right, Bell puts a charge into that one, but it's going to dead center, and that gets just to the edge of the warning track, and McCann is able to camp under it for out number 1. So here comes Marlon Byrd, who has been hot for the team so far this year. We haven't gotten to see any of it, unfortunately, and he struck out in his last at-bat. Mueller's still cruising here. Her mojo is locked in, and her stats... Ooh, Marlon Byrd lines right to Yips Frazzler. He's able to make the catch. Prince Chavez comes up. 1 for 2 with a single and a stolen base. And as you can see, Mueller is like in a really good place. That ball gets right underneath Mueller's feet, and really, really slow mover, but she's able to, we're able to reach base on that one. Chavez now 2 for 3 in this game. So Willie Randolph, a guy we put over here to kind of get the line moving, and he hasn't done much yet. And that was an easy steal for Chavez. So 1-1 count with a runner in scoring position and 2 outs. Willie Randolph working the count a little bit. 2-2 now. And she gets him to swing through that one, and Willie Randolph is struggling today. He's 0 for 3 now. Whew. All right, so we head back out on defense, and we start with a locked-in Yips Frazzler. You can see he has a max debuff on his wild thrower trait. We have not gotten a chance to activate it yet. He grounds out to mashed taters at first and loses his mojo. He's back to neutral. And here comes Plover Russell, who got the first base hit for the Rivets in his last at-bat, and he lines that one softly to mashed taters, who's had a lot of action over there at first base. Two outs. Rojas fouls off on the first pitch and watches strike 2 go in right past him. He swings through that one for strike 3. So very quick inning for McMackey, and we're through 5. Heading to the top of the 6th, we're still scoreless. Both pitchers have been playing lights out so far. They're finding their spots, and they're just they really have these batters confused. It's enjoyable to see if you're a fan of pitching or if you're a fan of low-scoring games, but we want to win. And that one grounds out to the first baseman, and David Ortiz, the first time he's not going to reach base in this game. Now comes Mashed Taters. Reached on in his second at-bat, 1 for 2 today. He's quickly down 0-2. Takes that one, tempted, but checks his swing. Swings at that one, and it just barely taps over to Spencer. Throws over to Huber at first for out number 2. So Am Slamus, who was up with 2 on and no out, struck out in his last at-bat. He's 0 for 2. Mueller has his number today. And he has been struggling a bit in this to start this season. 247 average. Wow, and he got fooled again. Another strikeout for Ham Slamus as he takes that one, and they go down in order, 3, 4, 5, very quickly, unfortunately, and pitchers are still cruising. McMackey is in neutral mojo mode right now. He has barely lost any stamina because he's been so efficient. 47 pitches at this point. As I say that, he's kind of working the outside of the zone. And that one pops up. Mashed Taters calls him off right next to the bag, and he catches that one for out number 1. This has been a pretty efficient outing for Lachlan, who's still neutral mojo. We haven't seen that go up, and he gets the first pitch, a line out to Willie Randolph. So we've had some good defense, we've had some great pitching, and we've had some very sparse base hits for either team in this one. And Spots Spencer here has a little hack activated, so that boosts the contact up pretty high, but drops some of that power, and you saw it right there as that one just lofted out to right field. Marlon Byrd catches it for out number 3. Would love to see Juice Jackson try and get that mojo shifted a little bit before the end of this game. He is 0 for 2 today. Rattled still, and he's facing Selma Mueller, who's still locked in, but she's starting to get toward the end of her day, but not before she strikes out Juice Jackson again. I'm going to be really curious to see what these strikeout numbers look like for both pitchers at the end of this game. It's been pretty wild. Mueller's just been mowing down this team. And we still see that Hera's tense. She's now down 1-2 with 1 out. And it swings through that one for strike 3. So Mueller is not slowing down yet. See what her pitch count is at. She's up to 93 pitches, and you wouldn't be able to tell. It still looks like pitch number 1 for her. And it looks like she is now on fire, so she is going to tough it out for as long as possible. And they don't want to pull. And she strikes out the side. George Bell looking foolish, swinging through that one. Barely got the bat around before the ball comes through. This game's getting real tense. The pressure's higher. And we're going to start with their 2-3-4 hitters here for Lachlan. And while Choker is activated, it is a minimum debuff, so I believe that's -3 to each of their stats, or each of the attributes for Lachlan. That's a trait I'm hoping we can eventually get rid of. And honestly, if we do, that might bump him into that S tier. Can we get George Bell? He might be tense. He might now not know how to field at all. But if you just hit the ball to he'll make the play. I don't know how he made that sliding catch, but we will thankfully take it. It seemed like he was taking his time to get over there. I thought that was an easy catch for him. But either way, the out was made. We keep Dubs McCann off the bases. That ball just went right through the batter. And there's another base hit. That ball goes right up the middle past McMackey's glove. And we have one out. And Theo Hughes is coming up. 0 for 2 today. McMackey's still out there with his neutral mojo. And that ball goes slowly to Ham Slamus. Toss over to Willie Randolph. Back over to Taters. Double play. The inning is over. That base hit means nothing. And we saw George Bell make a huge play, which could have made the difference in that inning after that base hit with a very speedy Dubs McCann. So let's do something on offense. We're here in the top of the 8th. Both pitchers just lights out. What a duel we got a chance to watch here today. Marlon Byrd fighting off a few pitches down 0-2. Swings through that one. 4 consecutive batters that I've been tracking have gone down on strikes for the Windy City Thunderbolts. We get to the top of the order now. Prince Chavez up with 2 for 3 today, and here comes Devin Harris. So they pull the plug on an amazing outing from Selma Mueller. Just didn't have much left in the tank for another rotation in the order. And that ball gets to Frazzler, who's able to get it over to first without that wild thrower activated. And Willie Randolph, super, super angry, and hopefully he's not in his head right now. Pressure's extreme. He's 0 for 3 today, but still neutral mojo. With 2 outs, 2 strikes, Devin Harris throws that pitch, and Willie Randolph is able to break out of his funk, and he's able to get a base hit up the middle. So here comes David Ortiz, and this Big Poppy's, we brought him in for this reason. He's locked in, so that mojo goes up. He's max clutch in an extreme situation, so he is completely maxed out in power and contact. These are the scenarios you want to see him in. And boy, I don't know if you heard that, but he blasted that one, but it went way foul. He gets that one off the end of the bat, and it hangs up easily for Hieronymus Jackson to catch for out number 3. So, unfortunate. I don't know about any of you, but we've seen 2 singles up the middle, but that's been the most success we've seen out of Big Poppy this entire franchise so far, which is incredibly unfortunate. And Randolph's able to snag that one. Also unfortunate that we haven't seen McMackey's mojo get back up to locked in after that. Just as I say that, he is now. And you can see we're in the bottom of the 8th. He's at 68 pitches, and his attributes look the same as they were at the beginning of this game. Just super impressive. As he gets a ground ball to Randolph for out number 2. And here comes Juan Rojas. McMackey took a minute to get back into that locked-in Lachlan mode, and starting to feel it a little bit, but he's at 72 pitches, and if we could give him some run support, I feel like he could go the distance in this one. But just like that, while he got his mojo after a line out, he loses his mojo. He's back to neutral after that base hit, and I hope they don't pull him here. Thank goodness. Again, choker stays activated because it's extreme situation. He's getting -6, if I'm not mistaken, on all of his attributes. But he's still in a pretty good spot here to get out of this inning with 2 outs and 2 strikes. And he gets that one to ground slowly to Ham Slamus, who tosses it over to Taters. And he's putting up a fight. He kept his team in it this whole time. Within the top of the 9th here, it's time for the Thunderbolts offense to get things together, and no better time than their 4-5 hitters, 4-5-6 hitters. All right, the mash combo of bangers and mash gets that one slowly up the middle. Even he's able to leg out that infield single. And here comes Ham Slamus, 0 for 4, 0 for 3, 0 for 4 today. He has not gotten on base whatsoever. Really struggling to see the ball today, but maybe since we've switched pitchers, that he can get into a groove here against their closer, Devin Harris. And that ball gets blooped. Is it going to get down? No. Hieronymus, another shoestring catch. The way he started this game, and here's where he's at. And we do get to see Juice Jackson in juiced mode. His stimulated trait does kick in. So while he's rattled, we are able to offset that with his juiced mode, or his juiced fitness here. So can he do what he do all the time? Nope. Okay, he's just going to swing through that one for strike 3. What an anticlimactic moment for the Windy City Thunderbolts there. We did the same thing with Ortiz and his maxed out clutch trait. And he barely flies out to left, and their Juice strikes out. And here comes Taters. He's trying to take off for second. The ball got away from the catcher, and he's able to advance. So now there's a runner in scoring position, but it does not matter as Hera gets that ball right to third on a line. And now we hope for extras. We've seen 4 runners reach base for the Rivets, and they're in position to win this game, but McMackey is not done yet. He's coming in to start this 9th inning. He's locked in, fighting against that choker trait, and Mash almost went for that one, but Randolph is quick enough to get over there. Mash covering the bag, and we get out number 1 on a ground out to second. Here comes Spots. Again, fighting against that choker trait. First pitch foul. Little hack is activated here. Strike 2 now. Almost got him to chase. He checks his swing on a low and inside pitch. Fouls that one off. Trying to get him to chase. And that ball pops up. Willie Randolph, who's been busy all day, camps under it, catches that one for out number 2. This is a scary spot here. Dub McCann, their best hitter, who's locked in that extreme pressure situation, makes that locked in look way scarier. I thought that was a strike. That was in the same spot. Okay. Here we go. Very big spot. 3-1. I'm okay if he walks him for that reason. If we can get him to chase here. He chases. Oh, man. Locked in Lachlan is not scared of anyone. Dubs McCann chases that pitch, and it dips right out of the zone for strike 3. And in the biggest moment, we needed him to come through, and he does. What a game so far. And now we just need to get some runs on the board. We're going into the top of the 10th here. Their closer's still going. 26 pitches in, and his stamina is really depleted as he walks George Bell for the first walk of the game, I believe. Here's a tense Marlon Bird. And they pulled Devin Harris, their closer, for Ryan Butts, who is all junk. It's all about that junk. No accuracy, very low velocity, too. He's got 3 pitches with an elite curveball to show off, and Marlon's showing bunt here. But he swings at that one, and it's like a bunt, and it works like a bunt, too, as he's able to advance the runner. And that's out number 1, and now we have a runner in scoring position with 1 out, and we're at the top of the order. Prince Chavez, 2 for 4, 2 singles, but also 2 stolen bases. And he's fouling off a couple pitches. We don't want to see him fall behind here. There's a ball in the dirt. Good job of Hughes keeping that ball in front of him. And that ball pulls to Frazzler. No wild thrower activated, and he's able to get Chavez, and because it was in front of the runner at second, he was not able to advance. So not great execution. And now we come to Willie Randolph. 1 hit today, and he pulls that one just past the third baseman, and now we have runners on the corners. And again, This is what we have him here for. 2 for 4 today. The 241 hitting David Ortiz comes up, maxed out power and contact, and he's hitting the ball right off the end of the bat. He has not made barrel contact yet. And he gets that barrel on that one, but it's lined right at Yips Frasler for out number 3, and we head to the bottom of the 10th inning. What a spoiled, beautiful pitching performance from Lachlan McMackey here, going into the top or into the bottom of the 10th. 95th pitch here. Gets Jackson to pop up, and he's gonna take that one himself. He catches that one for out number 1. We're essentially going to see that pressure stay maxed out like this for the rest of this game, and they pull him for Withers Hansen, who comes in locked in himself, and he gets that first pitch going, pulled foul, just foul. But he's quickly down 0-2 now. Hansen has both specialist and a rally stopper. We didn't even get to see McMackey's rally stopper trait kick in because he never had more than one runner on base. And Hansen gets the strikeout for out number 2. Whew, what a wild game here. Now, Withers Hansen is a long reliever, so ideally he can keep us going until we get out of this game. And he gets that ball ground to Ham Slamus, tosses over to Taters for out number 3. Here we head into the 11th inning. Ryan Butts, 12 pitches into his outing, and he's going to, at least so far, he's scheduled to stay in there against Mash Taters, who's still locked in. He's been locked in all game. Takes ball 1 inside, ball 2 inside and high. Ball 3 in the same spot, 3-1 pitch here. Nice hitter's pitch, but that ball was inside too. They didn't even want to mess with Taters, so they walk him. If you recall in our opening day game, they intentionally walked Mash Taters, and Ham Slamus came up and hit a 3-run bomb. Can we repeat history here? He's tense now. He was tense before, so really maybe we can. Swings through that one, way too eager. And he swings through that one for strike 3. That ball dipped out of the zone, and he just couldn't help himself. So here comes Juice Jackson. He is still juiced, also still rattled. So he has had a tough game, has not gotten on base at all in this game. 1-1 count with 1 out, and we have Mash Taters on first, who is very slow, so we need a ball to get a gap. Okay, that ball gets right past the first baseman, and he's able to reach base for the first time tonight. And we have something cooking. With 1 out, we have 2 on. And here comes Haro Williams. Are we gonna... Oh boy. They bring in Milan Clay, who has Rally Stopper that's activated here, and it's maxed out. But he is already half stamina, so he won't be in here for very long. And he misplays that one. And, okay, really interesting situation there. He misplays the grounder to himself at the pitching spot, and he turns around and gets Juice out at second, excuse me. So now we have runners on the corners. And George Bell, who walked in his last at-bat with 2 outs. Rally Stopper is still activated, so it kind of helps offset his low stamina. George Bell, tense, but we could really use a big play from you here, bud. Fights off another pitch. Swings through that one for strike 3, and if I had a bat, I'd be breaking it right now, too. This is such a wild game. I can't believe I picked such a great game for us to watch. I hope you're all doing all right here. Sorry, I was just checking the time of the recording here. And we're hoping that this ends pretty soon because we won't have much time left. And we might have to split this into 2 recordings. Mash snatches that one out of the air. And we get out number one. Withers Hansen still cruising here. He's still locked in an extreme pressure situation. We're going to see his attributes look really good. He induces a ground ball over to Juice Jackson, tosses over to Taters for out number two. We get to their 8-hitter, a tense Adam Huber, who's 0 for 3 today. Crazy that we're seeing such a great pitching performance from both sides in this one. And as I say that, Hansen gives up a base hit right up the middle. So they have a little bit of life here, the Rivets do, as we face off against their 9-hitter, Michael Correa, who's their DH, also tense. Hasn't been doing much for the team this year. And we're getting into a really, really intense part of this the game here. Well, it's been this way for a little while, but they're trying to steal, and Cannon Arm activates, and we get him. Oh, what a play. What a defensive ball game we are seeing here today at Golden Field. Hero Williams, who's been struggling at the plate and is tense, had that Cannon Arm activate in the perfect time. And wow, did we see something special there. And here comes Cash Basket. Milan Clay, being a lefty, gets to see both of those traits activate here. And he's trying to be very careful with Cash, who has not been doing so great this year either. And it's a 2-2 count. She fouls off a pitch there. His stamina is really low. But he gets her to swing through that one on a big strikeout. All right, back to the top of the order once again. Now Prince Chavez does have power versus lefty activated here, so his power's a little bit boosted. He's 2 for 5 today. Swings silly through that pitch, 0-2. Makes some contact there. Huber gets it, tries to toss it over to Clay, who does not flub that one, and he's able to get the out for out number 2. And they pull him here. His stamina is really depleted, and Prince Rodin comes in, who also has his stamina depleted, but is juiced today, not because of stimulated, just a lucky coincidence for the Rivets. But his stamina is really low, so we might not see him stay out for very long either. And they're starting to go through their bullpen. On full count, Randolph grounds out to Frazzler, who has had multiple attempts to have a wild throw, and it has not activated once in this game. So we've just been really unlucky for that. There's been a lot of weird luck for us and bad luck for us. It's just kind of been bouncing back and forth. So we go back to the bottom of the 12th. Going to see their 9-1-2 hitters, as Herrera was up when they tried to steal, and that was out number 3. This pop-up goes to left field, and Juice Jackson ranges all the way back to make that catch, which is probably better than seeing George Bell try to field that one, even though he had a really great play in left field earlier today. A couple of good plays, actually. So out number 1, and Spot Spencer has Little Hack activated, now down 0-2. Hansen still locked in. And that ball grounds out to Ham Slamus, tosses it over to first, and Spot Spencer has his mojo drop to tenths now. And here comes Dub McCann, who, because of the maxed out specialist, will actually decrease his power and contact below his standard traits, even though he's locked in. So we're at a bit of an advantage here, but he's still a dangerous hitter no matter what, and he's still super fast, so we can't take that for granted. Full count, 2 outs, bottom of the 12th. Their best hitter is up. And he chases another one. I can't believe after both of those, his mojo hasn't dropped. He's been locked in all game. He should not be. All right. We move to the to the top of the 13th inning now, and David Ortiz has maxed out clutch, but ironically, the pressure has dropped, so it's no longer extreme pressure. And that ball grounds out to Plover Russell at second for an easy out, number 1. We see Mash Taters, who's been our most consistent hitter of the day, 2 for 4 with 2 singles and a walk. And extreme pressure back up, so I don't know what happened there. He lines the first pitch to McCann for out number 2, and he's still locked in there in center field, which seems pretty unfair. Ham, 0 for 5. Very, very rough game for him today. And he's quickly down 0-2 with 2 outs. Makes contact there, fouling off a pitch, and we just want to get Prince Rodin out of here as quickly as possible. He looks at another strikeout. And I'll tell you right now, we have less than 5 minutes in this recording before I'll have to split into a second recording. So you might, while we're getting extra baseball, we might get extra videos too. So just know that if you are watching this and the game abruptly, or the video abruptly ends, I will be posting a part 2 as soon as possible right afterwards. So wild experience that we're all having here. And at this point, I almost hope that we go into a second video, just because it potentially means that we're winning, or that we win. Oh! Hate that I said it. I'm sorry. Devastating. Hieronymus Jackson absolutely obliterates that pitch. And they win in walk-off fashion. A solo shot from Hieronymus Jackson in the bottom of the 13th. What a tough game to lose here. The Windy City Thunderbolts go 0 runs on 9 hits and 0 errors, and the Rockford Rivets get 1 run in 6 hits and 0 errors as well. Those strikeouts. Our team struck out 18 times today. In 6 at-bats, Ham Slamma struck out 5. Willie Randolph 3. Juice Jackson struck out 4 times. Oh, the team just did not show up in the offensive category like they can, and they should. But that game was still ours to win. Lachlan McMackey went 9 1/3 innings, 4 hits, 4 strikeouts. Withers Hansen 2 2/3, gave up 2 hits, one of them being that home run, struck out 2. Oh, what an awful game to lose. Salma Mueller went 7 1/3, only gave up 5 hits, and actually struck out 13 in this game. But the winner is Prince Rodin, who just stays in there long enough to get the win. But we went through their bullpen. They're going to have a tough time in the rest of this series. Salma gets player of the game, 7 1/3, as I mentioned, 5 hits and 13 strikeouts. Lachlan, 9 1/3, 4 hits, 4 Ks, and Hieronymus Jackson 2 for 5 with that home run. Devastating loss. I can't believe it. It was like, as I said it, I jinxed it. I'd like to get a jinxer count, how many times I've done that in this freaking series so far that I've been recording. So we lose that one, and that breaks the tie in our division as Rivets go up 13-8. Grapplers still ahead of us by half a game, and we lose, going down to 12-9. So entertaining game. Sad that we ended up having to lose that one, but still a good game nonetheless. Hopefully you all enjoy it. We had enough time so we don't have to split this into a second recording. But that was rough. And we'll look towards the next game and see what's going to happen. Give me any recommendations for teams you'd like to see us play in the next one. We'll kind of take a look ahead. But thank you all so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you thought of the game today. Oh man, I'm still so upset about this. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye everyone.